Well, I guess I could link the thread that kind of got me thinking on all this below. But as far as like the various villains and everything with Uplift Protocol, or even people like Anna, I base it off of just general human like reactions, like her very Karen reactions to everything is what I see at work sometimes, where it's just that moment of complete unawareness of just how it's like, come on, lady, or come on, guy, how come you're shopping while angry? You're taking it out on people that we're just here trying to do our job, get people through line, keep going, like get your stuff, and then you're on your way, right? Uh, so I guess when it comes to some aspects of characters that will change, like Anna, I tried to think of like, okay, what's like me on my worst day, and also compound it with a super couponer that's just feeling entitled just to having that one more dollar taken off their order because like, oh, I even hate paying taxes. It the sheer entitlement factor in Anna is ridiculously huge right now. Uh, I guess that's like the one bit of commentary I do have in Uplift Protocol, but I try not to beat people over the head with it. I try to make it like something a little bit more humorous. That's why I had her demand at Kavera, like, "Oh, rescue me first, Marshall." It's like that sense of entitlement is still going strong. She'll eventually change, of course, but yeah, I mean, sometimes with escapist stuff, you don't have to hit people over the head of like, this is my political view, uh, you know, basically follow it or something. It's like, no. I might put some aspects of stuff I believe in with certain things, but I'm not there to basically preach to everybody. I'm just there to have fun with the story and see where these characters go. In fact, I would have to say, out of all the characters I got there, um, who closest fits me, I guess. Uh, Not to the point of writer insertion, but general attitude, I guess. This is gonna take some thought. I might have to get back to this, but yeah. Where there was a thing that popped up, also like, oh, what kicks you out of a book or story really quick, and my response was current year political talking points. Like this one is the blatant stand-in for Clinton. That one's the blatant stand-in for Bush. Oh, Orange Man bad. It's like you're putting political junk in your book that might not even be relevant within the next 6 months to a year. It's like, why? Why remind your reader of bullshit that's going on this earth here? It's like, why? That will kick me out so fast. United Nations, Space United Nations, basically. Somehow our Earth's UN, and they lead the Earth. It's like, how? Um, that was the one thing. The one thing that kept me going with Expanse as long as I did, for like the first 5 books, was the fact that the photomolecule mystery and like that otherworldly part with all the different alien races, whether or not they're alive or dead, or like just the leftover tech. That's what really interests me. And then it got slowly to the point, where the Earther, Belter, and everything else stuff came to a head, and I'm like, oh great, it's humans killing humans again. But they kind of skirted the edge of having too much like, this feels a little bit too much current year politics bullshit. And the fact that they made the UN the leader of Earth was pretty laughable to me. Again, this is just my personal preferences, but every time any kind of sci-fi setups has the UN guiding Earth to some sort of ridiculous future, always makes me laugh. Because our UN is so fucking incompetent. Like, why even have them as a leadership role? And that's the reason why with Uplift Protocol the UN doesn't even exist. It's just the Terran Alliance, and each country still has autonomy. They have their charter, which is set up kind of like the U.S. Constitution. They can add different articles, and everything else. but I gloss over that in Uplift Protocol because I don't really want to go along any big political lines. Like, now, did I make? Yeah, I made Eliza feel horrible for the fact that she won't be able to have kids, and I just put that aspect in there because that's what that character cares about. She really wasn't thinking about it initially, but now that she can't have something like about in her that way, she that's a little bit more on her mind at the moment. Uh, and just even with the family dynamics, you can have a whole lot of mysteries and everything else pop up, even with living family members. People don't have to die to create drama. Um, you can create drama with so many other factors, even with the creepy factor that I'm going to add with the all father and all mother, with the House of Rod and everything. Like that's coming up. Toth is going to have the creep factor. I probably have to do like another issue or two focusing a little bit more on the villain side just so you can see how their machinations are going. And it'll probably be anywhere between like I'll try to make a more meaty villain like issue, just in terms of like catching the reader up on what they're doing. Like for me, for them, meaty would be like 4,000 words. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to get some of their stuff in, and also showcase a little bit more of what's going on at the prison because that'll be developing later. And also tying into the more magical side of things. It's just a complete opposite for me. I just find it easier to write a whole lot more for the heroes to do because the villains are doing kind of maneuvers in the background, and they're trying to counter each other plus the heroes. So there is that. But I just find the heroic POV a lot more um, palatable to my biases. So that's why you get that. Like I'll still do some parts with the villains, but it won't be as not so much like fleshed out, but it won't be as catered to as what most modern books do. I know you have to have a good villain to contrast with a really good hero. So that's like if I do the contrast, it won't be in as many words, because again, the villains, like I set it up a very straightforward thing, where there's the core aspect to each of them, to where they will eventually betray each other. Villains backstab each other. There's just that's just the way it goes. Because they're each trying to be on top of the dog pile to take control of the Calamity slash Unity, and with the recent issue 8, I gave a very vague description of it because I rather have people imagine this big hulking monstrosity in their head, like that just eats everything, like the Nothing from Never Ending Story. It's like this vague sense of like threat. You don't always have to go into great detail about cosmic ending level things. You just don't have to. Like you just have to see how the heroes react to it and how they'll build things up. But that's just my POV. That's my personal preferences and all that added into it. So I don't even know where I'm going to put this. Probably in reader topic things, like maybe like what makes me drop a story. Probably. Eh, just because the little bit of the thread led to that. Um, and also love triangles. Like there's going to be no love triangles in Uplift Protocol. There just isn't, because I absolutely detest that trope. Um, the YA aimed at women my age 30 plus. Yep. That's pretty much what most mainstream YA is. We don't have stuff like Narnia and all that stuff anymore. They don't create books that have a decent moral core, an actual heroic character to follow. It's always she's a special girl. She has a love triangle. She's gonna rebel against the system. That's the basic setup for most of them. It's like copy paste Hunger Games. Basically, it's always some sort of dystopic setting. It's like no, I've just had my fill with that. There's a lot of people out there that still basically flock towards that stuff, but I'm just trying in my own way to add a different side to the table and basically, okay, you know what? I'm not getting fed as much as I would like, so I'm going to make it. I'm going to cook my own books. There we go. And that's about all there is to it. Have a good day, everybody.